Communication is the miracle cure for everything. If you're having a challenge with a team member, a client, a situation, you have to get it out there, you have to communicate it. I feel like personally, but also professionally, I learned a lesson on recently, where there's a void of communication, negativity tends to want to fill that void.
All right, we got Adam and Ben. Thanks for coming to the Contractor Coalition. This is your first one, correct?
First one.
Yeah, so what made you come to this one, and how did you hear about the Contractor Coalition Summit?
I think we've been subscribed to the content, on socials, and have just watched it. And honestly, I was waiting for the right city. Yeah. I said, wow, whenever they come to the right city, I'm going to then go. And of course, Omaha was extremely attractive. So that's a little bit of a joke.
I didn't know where you were going with that one.
I usually travel to the Midwest, except that Builder Trend was here too. So,
yeah.
And we've got a relationship with them as well. And so we said, hey, you know what? We could be really productive on this trip. And it's been awesome.
Did you guys come down early to go to Builder Trend University at all, or anything like that?
We did Builder Trend University this past year.
Okay. Brought the whole team down, or?
Probably half the team, yeah. We want to do a part two and bring the rest of the team maybe next year.
When did you come down?
About 6-8 months ago.
Okay, that's funny. I brought my team down like 3 months ago. I'd never been to Omaha before, and I was like, twice in 3 months, let's go. So it's funny.
One reason to come to Omaha.
I know. What were some of your expectations, and have they been exceeded? Have they been met? Have they been let down? Like, what has been your feedback? We're at the end, we've got just a few hours left here, and then we're all flying home to apply, all these, knowledge bombs to our businesses. What's been your general consensus of what your expectations were versus what you've seen here?
Unfortunately, I showed up a couple days late, so I just got in yesterday about 11, but the content that we received yesterday, we always get a ton of, I typically take notes on my phone because then I can transfer it over to, versus writing something down and having to go type it again. But I have a ton of content that I've written down, and I think the key is really coming back to implement that, because sometimes you take pages and pages of notes, and then you get back into the grind, and you're like, man, what conversation do we have, or what do we need to implement? So it's really just taking all that information back to the team, sharing it with the team, and helping to implement that into their processes moving forward. But I thought the content I received yesterday was awesome. Yeah, especially on communication yesterday. Yeah, Nick did a great job. Brad did a great job.
Do you think there's anything specific that you're like, wow, this is going to make a big difference?
Yeah, I do. I think, especially during the content yesterday with communication, I think that's the miracle for everything. Adam and I say that all the time. And Adam had a new quote that he had last week where, negativity is found where communication's lacking.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
To that. Yeah.
I'm getting on a montage roll, and all of them are related to clarity and communication. So clarity is kindness. Communication is the miracle cure for everything. So proper communication is a miracle cure for everything. If you're having a challenge with a team member, a client, a situation, you have to get it out there, you have to communicate it. And then the other one that, quite frankly, I feel like personally, but also professionally, I learned a lesson on recently, is that where there's a void of communication, negativity tends to want to fill that void. And this is applicable to a client, where in the pre-construction process, if you're not keeping up with that communication and the pace of it, and you let too much time come in, there's potentially some sort of negativity, whether it's on the client's end or in this case, an interaction where another builder was able to come fill some void in some space and get into the conversation and make it more difficult for us to do that job. And so clarity is kindness, communication or proper communication is the miracle cure for everything. And then and keep up that communication, because damn it, negativity will fill that void if you let it lapse.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really well said. I like what we heard where, I actually try to actively have our clients not text our team. I've taken a couple of years to really get into that. And then here Nick is, who I feel like he's very clear on his communication styles, has a group text, but I like what he prefaces it. Like, this is only Friday video recaps. Everyone's excited. There's only positivity here, and I'm just thinking like, oh man, if a client is going to, hijack this stream, it's like you're constantly, no one wants to be the parent of your client and like, hey, Mr. Anderson, that's not, it's just, how you deliver the message is a big part of it.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's also why I interject that asterisk in there, that proper communication is the miracle cure. It's not just communication, but he set that expectation that, hey, this is just a fun text. Like, please don't like text back, hey, can you do all these things over the weekend for me in response to this video? It's just, this is rah-rah. This is what we wanted to share at the end of the week, and we wanted to celebrate. We want our PMs to be able to celebrate, so let's keep this a positive text for sure. And that's the proper part of it.
I'm going to try it. I'll report back in a year.
Only a year?
I'm going to give it a whirl.
I think we're going to give it a whirl too. I think it's good. I think it's with the preface says you do not need to respond to this. This is just exciting. Like, hey, let's show you what we got done this week. This is really cool stuff. And I think, maybe Friday afternoon is a good point, because we want our clients talking about their houses on the weekends or when they're out to dinner with their friends, because that's just going to help to breed and set seeds for CG or Cope Grand and a lot of other conversations that we couldn't have directly had. So, and as long as that video is upbuilding and your project managers have that love and enthusiasm behind it. Now, they just did a video like, hey, Mr. Jones, here's a couple things we did today. It's probably going to be pretty lame. But trying to find that way to kind of help keep them encouraged. Because there is, like, back to communication, we have lack of communication. Adam and I lost a job earlier this year where we were in a pre-construction stage. Actually, it was last year. I was down with 3 herniated discs in my back. We were all busy, we were all cranking, and I missed the ARB meeting. Adam missed the ARB meeting with the client, and the next thing you know, it was maybe a few weeks later, the client said, hey, I hate to tell you this, but we chose another builder. When we thought we were already in the saddle, right? We were there. And so if we don't communicate at least on a weekly basis, which our team does, we have weekly phone calls with our clients and they always get those touch points. But I think the more touch points we have and to help keep them smiling, the better off we are. Yeah.
No, communication is super important. What were you, in terms of like messaging, if you were to tell other builders that are considering coming to the Contractor Coalition, what would you tell them? Why should they come?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's an opportunity to a lot of guys really kind of get in the rut. If they've been in a business for 10 or 15 or 20 years, or they've been in a business for 2 or 3 years or 1 year, I think it's a great opportunity to learn from the best builders in the nation. And outside of that, potentially, just to learn tactics and techniques and key things that they've learned over decades of work. If you think about how many years of experiences just in that room, and if you can get all those people together to help to share the thoughts and what they've learned over the years to help kind of supersize your business, and the fact of like, you can take everything, decades and decades experience, and put it into our organization and then succeed from that, versus us taking that 50 years and like, dang it, why didn't we go and take that opportunity to learn from some of the best people? So I think it's a key growth movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you said just there, I think the people that seem to be attracted to the Contractor Coalition, the people that, over the 7 editions that we've had it, is of a growth mindset. People are curious about how to add to their business, how can they grow. There doesn't seem to be a lot of negativity in the room. I've yet, not once, of the 300 plus people I've met that have come through as alumni now, have I met someone that wasn't interested in collaborating or learning or, trying to improve their business. That's why they're here. And it's kind of like this contagious confidence, explosion. Like I see people leaving here on the last day and they're already starting to text their PMs, they're starting to call their people, and like, the board teams are about to get inundated with, 12 pages of notes, and, it's up to us to sort of like, how do we take this visionary fire and all these great ideas we have, back to our respective businesses and kind of level up.
Yeah, I think that, whether you're a leader of a team, a leader of a family, whether you're trying to lead your business, there is a certain strength that you need to do that, and confidence too. And some leaders, I think, are more effective than others because of their experience, because of the muscles that they've developed, and the ones that they also continue to use and make routine use of. So when we all think of being business owners or leaders and we want to summit that mountain and we want to build our team and bring them along with us, we realize we've got to develop some more muscles. And so this whole event for us has been a discovery of what muscles don't we know that we didn't even have, to start developing those. Honestly, when it comes to the advent of AI and the advent of what's marketing, as builders, I think our favorite marketing to rely on is referrals. And a lot of us get the opportunity to do that through a reputation, but is that really running a business in the appropriate way? So when you think about these muscles that you never really had or never really developed, and you think about that opportunity to put them into your strength and into your composition and into your composure, I think you can be a heck of a better leader. And you can level up many, many times over. And to think about the alumni that are coming, we're super excited to come back because we know that we're going to need that additional strength training to keep on refining those muscles to get even higher and higher.
Yeah, I mean, we were mentioning this earlier, just with some of the other attendees of like why they come back. You know, I'd say, let's call it 30-40% of the people in the room have gone to more than one Contractor Coalition Summit, and why do you keep coming back? And I guess the question I'd have for you, I mean, you just kind of said why you want to come back, but do you think when you come back you'd bring team members to sort of share that?
Yeah, absolutely. We can't lift, Ben and I are blessed to have each other, but really we can lift more together. And so as you have different team members, and Ben and I think a little bit differently too, and you take things into context, and I heard it this way, I heard it that way, or the way that I hold a hammer and the way that he holds a hammer, and we might drive nails is completely different. And so I think that it is important to take that diversification of skill set and ingenuity from the knowledge gained and put it to use in our own particular ways and our own responsibilities within the team. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys both attending and investing in your company and investing in the community, and look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Yeah, no doubt. And thanks to everybody here too. This is incredible.
Yeah, appreciate your time.
Yep.
If you're interested in attending the Contractor Coalition in the future, please head to contractorcoalitionsummit.com or follow us on Instagram to find out more.